You may now begin your presentation.
Good afternoon. My name is Rashad Richardson.
Hello, I'm Jose Frankie.
Hi, my name is Eric Crosby.
And I'm Chelsea Reppin. Assisting us today are Ryan Mahoney and Michael Spaziani.
This year, in all of our projects, we discovered the one element that was essential to its life.
Surprisingly, it was not carbon, oxygen, hydrogen, or nitrogen. It was the human element.
The human element is the element of change.
It's human chemistry that gets communities to bond, governments to react, and turns problems into solutions.
The human element, not asphalt, paved the road to success for the residents of an economically distressed neighborhood in St. Augustine, Florida.
The human element, not technology, rewired and inspired at-risk students and turned high school dropouts into college graduates.
The human element, not glycerin, was the key ingredient in a soap that changed the complexion of an entire community that was struggling to get by.
The resolve, dedication, and spirit of the people in these stories touched something in us that made us want to be part of their mission.
Let us tell you their story.
West Augustine is just minutes from our college. It is a community in permanent recession.
After we conducted a needs assessment, we discovered businesses have left and unemployment is high for the area's 6,000 residents.
The average annual income for a family of 4 is below $16,000.
Dwala Willis heads the nonprofit West Augustine Community Development Corporation.
Dwala has deep roots in the community, has lived there all her life, and takes the challenging conditions in West Augustine personally.
She is determined to give her neighbors the tools to take on a world that isn't making room for them.
Over the years, Dwala and her team have sought many solutions, and despite many setbacks, she never stopped trying.
Her vision, passion, drive, and determination is contagious.
Her mission became our mission.
Dwala introduced us to the people we will be working with, the people behind the statistics.
There was Iris Glenn, recently retired mother of 3. Iris spent 35 years working as a legal forms supervisor for the state of Florida.
She wanted to use her skills and experience in wills and probate to start a business that would help others in her community.
It was at this time that we discovered a new element, the element of fear.
Not hers, ours, when we realized that this was not an academic exercise and that her future would depend on us, turning her dreams into a profitable reality.
Flagler and Actus found the solution. Partnering with Dwala, we launched Jump Inc.
Jump Inc. is a business incubator. Its mission is to provide a center that will foster the development of small businesses and provide economic opportunity for people like Iris.
It'll be a place where the community will have the opportunity to work with educators and business professionals to learn the skills necessary to get a job, start a business, or stay in business.
It will be the first of its kind in St. Johns County.
To hatch the incubator would require land, a building, educators, business leaders, and funding.
It would be years before the building would be up and running.
We were starting from scratch. We now had a new element to deal with, the element of panic.
Iris and others in the community cannot wait years.
They've heard this story before. In West Augustine, the joke is, economic development is years away, and always will be.
To keep the momentum and their trust in the project required immediate action.
We partnered with the Small Business Administration and started a business boot camp that improved the livelihoods of entrepreneurs in West Augustine immediately.
We wrote grants for which we received $5,100 to hold weekly classes on business basics, such as credit, marketing, and business plan preparation.
Our incubator, Without Walls, is now operating out of the Solomon Calhoun Community Center in West Augustine.
Currently, there are 26 enrolled in our program.
Participants meet weekly for hands-on training by members of the SBA, Dwala, and Flagler and Actus.
Of the program's 26 participants, 6 have completed business plans and 1 has launched a business.
Iris Glenn, with the help of the workshop and our Enactus support team, learned the technical, marketing, and presentation skills needed to launch her own seminar business.
For now, West Augustine doesn't need new roads. It needs new skills.
West Augustine won't be the new home of Apple anytime soon, But Jump Inc., our incubator without walls, is changing the landscape one business and one person at a time.
And in West Augustine, a community with little boom and a lot of bust, that's economic development.
Florida has one of the highest unemployment rates in the nation for high school dropouts.
Children in low-income families are more likely to drop out of high school.
Children who do not complete high school can expect to earn an average of $18,000 a year throughout their lifetime.
After conducting our needs assessment, we saw an opportunity to empower these students by partnering with the College Reach Out program, known as CROP.
CROP's goal is to increase the number of high school and college graduates from low-income families.
Last year, this essential program was in danger of being discontinued in St. Johns County due to the lack of funding.
Flagler College Enactus wrote 3 grants totaling $53,000, kept CROP alive, and assumed sole management of the program.
One of the key elements in this new venture is Meg.
You won't find Meg in a chemistry book or on the periodic table, but you will find her on our Flagler Enactus team.
For the past 2 years, Meg has been the element of change in the lives of 85 at-risk students who have low grades, chronic truancy, and disciplinary problems.
Her passion and commitment created a chain reaction.
Energized by her efforts, our team works tirelessly to prevent the kids in CROP from becoming another unfortunate statistic.
Together, we meet with students to talk to them about their grades, fears, and goals.
Thomas sees himself not as a student going to college, but as a worker going to school.
Without an attitude adjustment, he was heading for a colorless, odorless, and tasteless entry-level job.
We had to turn his negativity into positive energy.
We organized weekly tutoring sessions at Flagler College and planned weekend events which introduce at-risk students like Thomas to new career paths and opportunities.
The program includes mentoring, academic counseling, motivational workshops, and after-school and summer programs to create a CROP community that ensures students are on track for academic success.
We take students on field trips to other college campuses and professional conferences throughout the state of Florida.
We watched as they found a new element, the element of surprise, when they realized that they could actually finish high school and enroll in a real college.
We were giving them the tools to build relationships, confidence, and economic independence.
Making a difference in their lives made a difference in ours.
Now let's see the impact the program had on Meg.
Sorry I couldn't be there, but I just couldn't leave my kids. Everyone always talks about how much I've done to help these students, but no one understands how much they've impacted me. For the past 2 years, I have seen tremendous growth. I have seen students go from F students to ones who are graduating high school being accepted into college. Children are our future, and it has given me so much pleasure helping them prepare for it.
By any standard, the Flagler Enactus CROP program is a mega hit.
Continued education not only benefits these students, but our economy.
Higher earnings means increased tax revenue, reduced safety net costs, and lower rates of crime.
Last semester, 9 out of 10 of our high school graduates started college.
They are the first in their families to extend their education beyond high school.
This semester, 7 students are on track to graduate high school. Of the 7, 6 have been accepted into college and will attend this fall.
We knew where they were coming from. Now they know where they are going.
Our Dominican Wave story begins in St. Augustine, Florida.
Sean lives in a foster care home. Soon he will be 18 and be forced to leave.
For the past 5 years, Flagler Enactus has worked with Sean and 21 others in a foster care program for young men that have been abused and neglected.
Together, we started a soap company.
Our team produces a product line of 5 different eco-friendly soaps.
The business is called Soapy Tales.
The soaps are available in local stores and sold online. All the profits go to our partners in crime.
This year, a new element has been added to the Soapy Tales equation.
Meet Bill Kunkel.
He is the executive director of the Dominican Development Group, a unique mission organization within the Episcopal Church that works with economically depressed communities in the Dominican Republic.
Thanks to Bill's passion and hard work, Soapy Tales is now a tale of 2 cities.
Bill has been working with the community of San Marcos in the Dominican Republic for 6 years.
San Marcos is a small town, far removed from the lush tourist resorts. The people of San Marcos live in extreme poverty.
The Dominican Republic's major industry is tourism. For tourists, San Marcos would be the last resort.
After completing a needs assessment, we found that most live on less than $1.25 a day. They do not have access to clean water, have limited health care, and only a few children finish primary school.
Over half dropping out by 14 to help support their families.
Their prospects are bleak. In this part of the country, jobs are scarce, particularly for young people, who represent 43% of the total unemployed population in the Dominican Republic.
Bill works day and night to help the children in the town find the skills necessary to break the cycle of hardship and reach their full potential.
Awash in problems, he saw the solution in soap.
Soap making is easy to learn, has low startup costs, would create jobs, and provide a much-needed income for this struggling community.
Inspired by his mission, Flagler and Actis found the funding for our project from our Flagler's Legacy Store.
The Legacy Store started 17 years ago and was Flagler and Actis' first project.
Today, it has 2 retail locations and an online presence.
This year, our sales exceeded $720,000.
We use a portion of the store's profits to fund our projects.
With the funds, we put our soap business in a box and traveled to the Dominican Republic.
When you travel 1,000 miles out of your comfort zone, the human element needs other essentials, sunscreen and bug spray.
When we arrived, Bill took us on a tour of the village. That's Adiel. He is 14 and now in our soap program.
They know Bill isn't on some divine mission. He just wants to make things better. He doesn't want to change the culture of this close-knit community, just the human condition.
The people trust Bill, and because we're with him, they trust us.
When we met them, there was instant chemistry. The town was ready to make soap. Bill led his charges, ranging in age from 14 to 18, to the community church.
We taught the young men and women how to make soap. Their families joined in the process of slicing, mixing, pouring, and packaging.
Our entire soap-making process is designed to have minimal environmental impact.
In San Marcos, electricity is available only 4 hours a day. We have installed solar panels on the church roof that will provide a clean, steady source of power.
Our soap molds are made from recycled materials, and our soap is entirely natural and biodegradable.
Almost all of our materials are supplied by local merchants and growers. Purchasing these materials alone adds $4,000 a month to the local economy. With the addition of salaries, our total economic impact in the community is over $9,000 a month.
Our soap, Dominican Waves, will be sold in resort hotels and gift shops to the 5 million tourists that visit the Dominican Republic annually.
Included with each soap is a card that tells the story of the young people who make it and the impact that the soap has had on their lives.
All profits will be put in the fund for the education of our soap makers.
Currently, 6 of our soap makers are employed full-time.
Most importantly, the soap is donated to the local community through a hygiene education program.
Poor sanitation has created many health problems in the Dominican Republic. Simply hand washing with soap can reduce the incidence of waterborne diseases by as much as 42%.
In a town without a sewer system, poor garbage disposal, and limited health care, our program will prevent disease and improve the quality of life.
The community believes in Bill, Flagler and Actis, and the project's ability to empower and improve their lives.
To show its good faith, the church has agreed to make its entire top floor the permanent home of our soap-making business. Once again, proving the old proverb that cleanliness is next to godliness.
In addition, our soaps will be made available through 500 Episcopal churches in the United States that support the Dominican Development Group.
This distribution network will have an immediate impact on the demand for our soap.
Each church has agreed to take 50 bars for fundraising efforts. This assures an initial sale of 25,000 bars.
At $2.50 a bar, this will generate $62,500 in gross sales for our soap-making business.
The churches will then resell the soap to fund projects with social, economic, and environmental initiatives in the Dominican Republic.
This will include a water purification system in Queroton,
turning unused land into an agricultural co-op in Santana,
and the completion of a vocational school in Santa Fe.
Throughout the Dominican Republic, communities have found a new hope in the power of soap.
This year, each of us had a moment of discovery.
For some of us, it was working with the families in West Augustine.
For others, it was keeping a kid in school.
For me, it was traveling to the Dominican Republic to make soap.
In that moment, we discovered it was people, not things, that are the element of change.
Bill,
Duwala,
Ariel,
Meg,
Iris,
Sean,
the human element was responsible for
the first incubator without walls in St. Johns County.
26 residents gained the skills needed to start a business.
one business launched.
writing 3 grants totaling $5,100.
The human element was responsible for
Empowering 85 at-risk students to graduate high school and attend college.
writing $53,000 in grants.
5 full-time paid interns.
9 high school graduates attending college.
6 out of 7 current seniors accepted into college.
The human element was responsible for
Giving a second chance to 20 kids without jobs, education, or future.
6 full-time jobs.
A permanent space dedicated to soap making.
$9,000 a month added to the local economy.
300 bars of soap donated through our first hygiene workshop.
And 1 Ariel.
Tenemos muchas oportunidades en la vida, como regalar los jabones a otra persona, a que lo pueden usar. Podemos lavarnos la cara para que no llegue esa broma y muchas cosas así. Ya.
The human element. Nothing is more essential, nothing more elemental. It helps us discover not only what things are made of, but what we are made
Thank you,
of.
Flagler College.
Thank you.
Your presentation time has expired. We will now begin the question and answer period.
Yes, hi. Wondering, in your crop program, what systems do you have in place if Meg leaves?
We have trained all of our interns to be ready for that position. We do have 6 interns currently working on that project, and each one of them is prepared to take up that position once she does eventually graduate.
In your Dominican project, did I understand that you had solar panels? And if so, how did you receive them? Were they grants, donated, or did you have to buy them?
Absolutely. We chose to use solar panels for our Dominican Waves project because electricity is so limited in the Dominican Republic and expensive. Most people use diesel generators, which is bad for the environment and expensive. We chose to use solar panels, which were donated through a member of the Episcopal Church that supports the Dominican Development Group.
With Dominican Waves, you mentioned that 300 bars of soap were donated through the first hygiene project. Did you do any study to see if there would be a price point at which those communities could purchase them at a very low price and then reinvest that? Did you look into that? And also for Jump Inc., was that entirely funded through the grants, or have you also considered fees for those participating in the incubator?
To answer your first question, Dominican Waves, we did consider charging for the soaps within the local communities, but it was very important for us to give back to these communities that we were starting the business in. We wanted to create a model where for every bar of soap that we sell, one is given to the local community because it is a community that is so impoverished. So for every bar of soap, we donate it to directly through the hygiene education program that also teaches them how to properly use soap. That was something that I hadn't even considered until we went to the DR, but they don't use soap like that there. They needed hygiene education, so we want to make sure that the soap is available to them free of charge, hopefully expanding into more communities soon. As for Jump Inc., it was entirely funded by grants. It is a very inexpensive program to run because we are partnering with the members of the CDC who are so strongly committed to bettering the community of West Augustine that we wanted to make sure that we could provide these classes for free so that we can build these businesses. The minimal costs of equipment and materials and marketing, of course, were there, but fortunately, we were able to receive grants that covered that.
Can you talk to me a little bit about Bill, the fella in the Dominican, and the role that he plays versus the role that Flagler plays in that project?
Absolutely. We're very fortunate to be partnered with Bill Kunkel from the Dominican Development Group. We met him through one of our BAB members, our Business Advisory Board members, introduced us to Bill Kunkel and shared our Sopitos project. Bill thought that the Sopitos project would be the perfect fit moving into San Marcos. It is an equal partnership. We have matched funds moving into the startup costs for the business, and we are there together in the Dominican Republic working side by side to develop the business, to train the people that we've hired locally. So really, Bill has been an enormous asset to us. The Dominican Development Group is a very strong and prominent group in the Dominican Republic. They have 78 churches. So for sustainability, they were our main focus when considering this project for the DR, and we are very fortunate to have them.
What gap did the SBA fill that the market couldn't?
Yes, our SBA actually were the people running our workshops. They were the ones in front of the participants teaching these classes. They had the skills to teach these participants, and also the SBA worked on these with the participants to get them loans if they needed to. And so we, Flagler and Actus, also worked one-on-one with these participants with their marketing to finance and whatever they needed, and so we can get them into an actual incubator where they actually want to run their businesses.
With respect to your SOAP project, the pre-orders that you had with the churches, what happens after those are all sold and used, and do you have any other plans for pre-orders?
Absolutely. So the initial 25,000 bars, the purchase order that we have from the Episcopal churches, is actually only 1/3 of the churches that are partnered with and support the Dominican Development Group. Of course, we do hope that these purchase orders will be repeated, and we expect them quarterly.
The question and answer time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the Flagler College Anactus team.